You know what I did for you, Kabiru, today is I did something interesting, which I hope the camera will catch very well. I decided today to carry the Constitution of Kenya. I actually didn't know before this morning that it's pocket friendly.
So why do you have it with you today?
You know, part of the problem, Kabiru, is, can you imagine if more of us carried the Constitution? And so, as we're talking about Gachagua, who is the DP, who is the number 2, I just want to shoot off, because you see, I came on this show not for drama or entertainment. I came on this show, and this is a good show, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
And I'm happy to see young people doing important things and having the right conversations.
Yes.
I came on this show, Kabiru, because, you see, as we're talking about the problems, we want to see, how did we get here? What is the root cause of these problems? And how do we therefore diagnose solutions? So, for instance, I like this constitution. We all agreed that this is a very good constitution that we passed in 2010. I'm just going to shoot off for our viewers just a few choice articles in this constitution. Not my opinion, not my opinion piece in the newspaper. What is in the constitution. And then when I do that, because I can see you're a smart guy, you'll be able to tell what is wrong. Okay?
Okay.
So, for instance, Article 10, quote, Article 10.1, the national values and principles of governance in this article bind all state organs, state officers, public officers, and all persons whenever any of them applies or interprets this constitution, that includes judiciary, enacts, applies, or interprets any law. C, makes or implements public policy decisions. Number 2, the national values and principles of governance include A, patriotism, loving this country, national unity, sharing and devolution of power, rule of law, democracy, and participation of the people. I cannot believe that that is actually spelled out in Article 10.
Sharing and devolution of power.
Yes, and national unity and patriotism. B, human dignity, equity, social justice, inclusiveness, equality, human rights, non-discrimination, and protection of the marginalized. And lastly, C, before D, sustainable development, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. Now, this article alone, can you tell me Gachagua is not in violation of that article? Can you tell me Moses Kuria is not in violation of this article? Not my interpretation and not my opinion. You cannot build a country where, first of all, you trash the constitution. We only need to follow this constitution. That is Article 10. Let me just go a step further, because the good thing with now new media is this is not unlike the days of TV where someone is watching us on television and the episode passes and it's done. This is YouTube where someone will pause and check. Someone can scroll back. This is digital media. And this thing is going to be watched even by Kenyans in Germany and Qatar. All right? Let me give you another article, for instance. Let's go to Article 226. 5. Actually, before that, let's go to 232.
You're saying they're in violation of the constitution as it is?
I mean, this, we should even be doing things to remove people from office. Let's go to 226.5. Let's go to 226.5.
Let's go there, but as you're looking for it, if you haven't shared this clip, please go ahead and share this.
Let's go to 226.5.
As many people can watch it.
Let's go to 226.5.
Yeah.
Even as we talk about corruption, you know, we talk about corruption in an abstract fashion. Like what was my officadi? These are no corruption. In fact, even when I was coming here, it says somewhere that these are no corruption zone. Let's go to 226.5. Constitution, not me. Nyote msikize. If the holder of a public office, including a political office, directs or approves the use of public funds contrary to law or instructions, the person is liable for any loss arising from that use and shall make good the loss. Shall make good the loss, whether the person remains the holder of the office or not. Here it is. Just imagine the kind of theft you have seen under KEMSA, under all manner of, even now as you speak, we're seeing all manner of allegations by PS Environment, PS Who. They're writing vouchers and travel vouchers and whatnot, and looting. And
you're saying they're not held liable.
The Constitution holds you liable. Now, this Constitution does not have an end date. You see, this 2010 doesn't say 2010 to 2020. So you can actually be liable for looting of public resources, even if it is my grandchild who will pursue you.
So what is the question that I'm thinking of? The question I'm thinking of is the willingness. Is there a willingness to follow the constitution? Is there a willingness to change the tough economic times in this country? Is there a willingness to unite the country, even before we talk about bomber stocks, which is supposed to, find a solution?
So the first thing that has happened, Kabiru, is the political class have realized long ago that the Constitution of Kenya is a blueprint that can actually usher this country into prosperity. That's why it was popular. That's why President Kibaki, oh, by the way, my own constitution here, you can see, has been gifted and signed to me by the former Chief Justice. So it was not a decoration. It was something, I have several copies, that you have to read and internalize. So they understand that a lot of Kenyans are busy trying to eke out a living. They don't read the constitution. They have a sense of what needs to happen. But the political class, therefore, have realized for us to survive, we must block this constitution. This constitution had clauses under, what we call the Chapter 4, long-term solutions under the Kriegler report, for how to sort out issues of land, issues of inclusivity, ethnicity, etc. And there are subsequent pieces of legislation that were supposed to be enacted after the promulgation of this constitution. So 13 years after, those discussions and legislation pieces have not happened. Because the political class realizes that, if we start implementing this constitution, they're very reluctant. They actually hate it. That's why you had the term watermelon. Because they actually hate this constitution. They actually can't stand it. Because remember Article 1, all power belongs to the people of Kenya. Is then delegated to elected officers or can be exercised directly. So they hate the constitution.
So you think
you see, they weaponize it. They demonize it.
Now that we are in the constitution, there are these bomber stocks, introduction of the office of the official leader of the opposition, introduction of the office of the prime cabinet secretary. Now, do these stocks make sense for you? Because Martha Karua says, look, the constitution is okay as it is. Let's just implement what is in the constitution.
I agree with Martha. Martha is my friend. She has her own issues, but how the bomber stocks are a necessary evil in the sense that they're a practical way of getting some calmness. But calmness is not a lasting peace. We had a contested election once again. William Ruto is a younger guy than Raila Odinga. He's smart, he's strategic. So,
do you, by the way, believe in his legitimacy as the president?
To be honest, not really. I mean, because it's difficult to defeat Raila, by the way, mathematically. It's difficult. Raila has his own issues, but arithmetically, it's very difficult to defeat Raila Odinga. That's just a fact. But Raila has his own other issues. I think he won in 2007.
Yeah, that is something most people...
And that's many, many, many years ago.
But I'm talking about 2022.
Oh, come on. If he won 2007, what is 2022? What is 2017? Therefore, to do bomber stocks is to buy time. You see, Raila always gets played. It's to buy time, to get things to cool down, and to continue to just enjoy the trappings of power and to mislead, because Raila has a huge following. I mean, you saw what happened even during the demonstrations, even in Nairobi alone, or in whichever other counties. So, again, it's a sad situation. But it's a situation which, if Raila was more selfless and more strategic, would not be in this situation. Because it's obvious that the state has an axe to grind with him. You cannot lose that many times, or rather win that many times, and not take power. So obviously, he just needed to alter his game. I think that's what he's considering for 27.
Do you think he's a person for the people? If you're saying he has won and, he's still working with government, all these governments, is he for the people? Is he selfless?
No, he's not. And that's why I said if Raila was selfless, we would not be in this situation. Because what happens, for instance, now when he won in 2017, and he was rigged as usual, then what did he do? Rather than maintain his frame, as Americ says, he went now to work for the person he defeated, to his own disadvantage. Because the advantage of the handshake was not really to Raila, it was to the president.
Yeah.
For there to be no opposition, for him to loot in peace, for him to have peace of mind. I mean, so that was the single most biggest blunder that Raila made of his political career. To enter into a handshake with a failed president. That was a blunder of note. And Raila himself, again, your researchers will look at the video. You know, he explained, and he has intelligence. He is a leader in this country, so he gets intelligence better than what I get. And he explained, you know, Jubilee are overstealing, they're looting, catastrophically looting, they're overkilling. You know, I'm just using his own words against him. So it's a very unfortunate thing. It was very bad for democracy.
For other analysts,
it was very bad for democracy as well.
Other analysts argue he looked at the greater good. If there's no handshake between him and the president then Uhuru, who would know what would have happened to the country? Because the tension was so high.
No.
They were swearing him in as the
No,
president.
we already had a bigger crisis in 2007, 10 years before. So the handshake was for his own good. It was the only ticket he felt that could usher him close to power and then ultimately get power. I knew, and that's how I opposed it, you know, because I'm a very savvy political scientist and strategist.